Welcome to Immortal Wisdom with Leon Denis. I'm Vanessa Anceloni, and this is a 15 video series on 15 amazing chapters that were written by Leon Denis in the book After Death. After Death, which you can find in its latest English version at the website of the United States Spiritist Council, spiritist.us. Today it's video 8 and it's about the most preferred topic of all, love. Love. Leon Denis begins the chapter in a very philosophical and poetic way. He says love is the celestial attraction of souls and worlds, the divine power that bonds, governs, and fertilizes the universes. Love is God's gaze. And he says, we shall not confuse love with this type of passionate love or romantic love. He's talking about a love that is above. It is the touchstone of human virtues, of gentleness, charity, and goodness. It is the dawning of a force within the soul that drives us along above matter. That's very interesting. When he talks about mind over matter, spirit over matter, we're still on the earth living in such a way that matter is so dense for us that we tend to surrender to its restrictions, to its pains and sorrows. But Leon Denis is inviting us to use the tool of the vibration of love to raise above the, let's say, the restrictions of matter. So let's understand a little more. He says love is to feel, live in all and for all, to devote oneself to a cause or to a being to the point of self-sacrifice, of death. Okay, so let's say we are having a problem in a relationship and we tend to think, this person is not doing what I want, etc. But am I being loving? Am I feeling this love towards that person? We need to ask ourselves that. And to learn how to feel in one and to live in one and for everyone to the point of self-sacrifice. And we can begin with little things. For example, you have a pen. Okay, this is not a very significant pen, but think about, I love this pen, figuratively speaking. Somebody comes and says, can I use it? And I'm like, no, not this pen, because this pen is mine, it's very special. Well, let us exercise this feeling of living in all and for all and say, sure, use the pen that I love the most. Take something that I love the most, something, not someone, something that you love, and I say love, figuratively speaking, that you put a lot of sentiment on it, and give to the person who would like to use it. Some people leave their children to be babysit by somebody whom they barely know. But they wouldn't give their car keys to a friend, so they, or even to a family member, to a spouse, to drive their car. That's a paradox of the human mind. So that's an exercise for us. Even food. We're hungry and let's exercise. Mothers do this so often, but we all could exercise it. You know, eating a little bit less so somebody could eat a little bit more at home. If we exercise at home, it's gonna be easier elsewhere. I know this sounds funny, but it's an opportunity for us to practically gravitate to what Leon Denis is teaching us. And he says, the feeling of love culminates with the love to our enemies. And he says, to love our enemies as Christ suggested is to have absence of hatred and revenge inside of us. And sometimes we kill people not in the flesh, but we take revenge. We are in this mode of revenge when we talk bad about them. Gossiping, bullying, putting people's self-esteem down is a way of not loving them. And we only do this when we don't feel they are friends, right? So we need to meditate about this. He says sometimes a sort of feeling that we don't belong also to the earth because of the problems that happen makes us feel separated inside of our homes, of our families, in our countries. But he says, watch out. And he says, we need one another to progress. So avoid isolating yourself. And Kardec in the Spirit's book talk about the law of society. It's a divine law. We shall be with people, not only physically, but with ourselves, totally, mindfully present. But Vanessa, it's the emotional contagion. It's so hard. We understand. I feel that too. We are humans. But how about practicing a different point of view and looking at people and saying, you know what? They have good things inside of them as well. I have my shortcomings too. How about if I observe the goodness that they have in themselves? That's a way we will prevent isolating ourselves as well. And he says, good mood assures the soul's good health. So he's talking about sense of humor, good mood, as a way to make us connect. Do you think Jesus, as our guide and model, was funny? That he laughed? Oh, yes, he did. This characteristic of being funny and entertaining and in a good mood is divine. And Jesus was like that. Do you think he was always like serious? No, he was light to the point he could walk on waters. Literally, he was above the restrictions of matter. He had his mind totally dominating matter. So he was always light. And Leon Denis says, good mood assures the soul's good health. May we allow our heart to open up to healthy and strong impressions. May we love in order to be loved. And he's saying this, if our sympathy must extend to everything that surrounds us, including the beings and the things, everything that helps our lives, and even to the unknown members of the great human family, what can one say of the deep, inaudible love we owe to our parents, to our father who has done everything in our childhood, to our mother who has sacrificed for us? I know sometimes we're strange children, we're not understood, we're abused, but to honor parents is a divine law. It's a fourth commandment of brought in by Moses. And to honor, if we go to the gospel according to Spiritism, means to respect and to help when needed. But what they did, it's between them and God. And science already shows we can work our traumas with a proper psychotherapy and proper approach to help our physiology restore its settings, let's say this way. Do you think only your cell phone or computer can be resetted? No, we have a much better computer, which is in our mind and then our brains, and we can reset it too. There are therapeutic approaches already providing that information to us. And love is the key to it. But Leon Denis, when he marches towards this chapter, he says, we all have our share in this sacred heritage comprising the sciences and the arts, the laws and the institutions, life as a whole. And no matter what we might do in its favor, we'll never be able to repay what it has done for us. He says, the heritage of the nation where we're living in. We need to be more reverent. The countries we immigrate to, the countries where we were born, and pray for it and appreciate this sacred heritage we have received from our parents, our cities, our nations, the ancient civilizations. Let's read the book On the Way to the Light by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier and get to know how much we shall appreciate the hard work of those who came before us and prepared the ground so we could be here today, and all those who worked in all different fields of sciences and arts and society so we could be here talking today through this important the technology that is making our relationship available and possible. And he says, and let me share this with you, dear one who is watching us, in the last paragraphs. Through stimulating our emotions, he makes us feel love. More important than just knowing is feeling, learning how to set the tone of our vibrations into love. He says, deep as the sea and infinite as the sky, love kindles all the beings. God is its irradiating center. Just as the sun rises indifferently over all things and heats up the entire nature, divine love vivifies all the souls. You and I are right now breathing not only the physical air, but we're being given life by God, and we'll never die. Never. The physical body is recycled, but we never die. And he says, all the beings were made for love, even the criminals. We are former criminals in previous lives, and here we are, having been fertilized by the supreme fire, the beads of moral life and the germs of goodness they harbor will develop someday and blossom until they shall be all united in a communion of love and in universal fraternity. And the last paragraph is really touching. I tell you personally, it's my preferred of all the book, the whole book. He says a message to us who are reading the book. You who are reading these pages, us together now, okay? Whoever you might be sure that we'll meet someday, either in this world during these future existences or in a more advanced sphere, or even in the immensity of spaces that are intended to influence one another in the path of good and to help each other in our common ascent. We, children of God, members of the great family of spirits, and who carry the sign of immortality on our brow, we're destined to know each other, to bond in the holy harmony of the laws and things, far from the passions and deceiving splendors of the earth. Until this day comes, may my thought reach you, oh brother and sister, as a token of gentle friendship. May it sustain you in your doubts, comfort you of your pains, may it lift you in your weaknesses, and may it join your own voice for us to bid our common Father help in order to conquer a better future. This is love. Did you feel it? I feel it too. This is Leon Denis, inspired by Christ to share with us what love is all about. The sustenance to life, God's gaze, God's providence towards us. Let's meditate on it and enjoy the possibility of loving and feeling it.